Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. As you can see from the title of the video, I'm going back to Korea. I thought I would do this video to kind of give you an update about the things that have happened since I first came back from Korea, or last came back from Korea, and all the things that have happened in between the time from then and now. And it's been about a month and a half since I've come back. Obviously, like, it's really fun. You can see my journey through my YouTube channel and also my Instagram stories if you follow me there, and I also documented a bit of it on TikTok. So basically, I applied for this concert raffle. If you didn't know, BTS is hosting a free concert in Busan in bid for the World Expo to be held there in the year of 2030. This is supposed to help bring tourism into the country and like really bring Busan's name out into the world and try to have the expo there. Like, if you don't know what the World Expo is, it's basically like being able to flex your country, and it's a way to have more tourism enter your country. Expos can last like about 6 months. It really depends. I'm not super familiar with it, but from my Google research, that's pretty much all I know about it. So BTS is having a free concert, and it's going to be held at the Busan Asiad venue, and this is where they held their 5th muster back in 2019, which was another concert in celebration of just like them. This concert is free. It's going to be paid for. The only thing we had to pay for was, like, obviously if you're flying in like internationally, then you have to pay for your flight and your accommodation, but the actual concert itself is free of charge, aside from the interpark transaction fee you pay to redeem your ticket. I entered the raffle, and the raffle is open to Army membership holders, which is like if you subscribe to them, I think it's like $20 for a year. You get like exclusive content, exclusive like pre-sale codes for concerts and tours, and then also like first access to merch drops. So I had an Army membership. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're also like a BTS fan, or like you're an Army yourself. You already know what this is, but if you didn't, that's basically what it is. I entered the raffle. It's one person, like one entry per account, per membership, and it's completely open to the entire world, like internationally. By some strike of lightning chance, I won a spot to go to the concert, as did my friend who I actually went to Korea with. So I don't know what the heck our luck is, but I'm so excited to go on this trip. Even if I don't look like it, I'm like screaming inside. Really prepping for, you know, like watching the concert from home. Like, I wanted to go to Korea regardless of if I won the raffle or not, just to like be able to experience an event like by my old group, my favorite group performing. It's gonna be a lot of festivities. If you didn't know, entire like Busan area is just gonna be like Borahae-fied or Borified, which is like BTS-ified, and I'm really excited to go experience this with my friend once again. And I think it's just like, what are the odds that we both win via like the membership? And if you didn't win through the membership, there was an opportunity to get tickets through Interpark Global and Interpark Korea, which is their main ticketing site. By the way, that website kind of sucks. Pretty sure it was really difficult for Interpark. Sorry, I'm not pretty sure. I am very sure that it was difficult for people to ticket on Interpark Global, because I tried to also ticket for a friend on Interpark Global, and I remember like staying up until 4 a.m. because of the time zone, trying to get a ticket on the website. And like my queue number, I got in as soon as like 4 a.m. but my queue number was like 50,000 plus. Stadium only has about like a 60K capacity. Yeah, so that was just like a mess in itself, and that's like another story to tell. But I'm really excited. Like, I don't know, I feel like I never win anything when it comes to raffles. I never win like entry to anything. I always have like really low expectations for stuff, but I try to enjoy and like make the best of the situation. So I'm gonna show you actually what it looks like on my phone. It's on Weverse. By the way, you had to apply through your account because it's all connected to your Army membership. And then if you had one, okay, so mine says this. Also ignore my nails. I'm getting them done over there. You would click my events, and then I think my membership thing shows. Oh my gosh, my nails are so nasty. I'm sorry. Okay, so it says you won if you had one. I can't believe it. I woke up, and I didn't wake up. I found out at midnight, and I shut up. I was like, holy shit, I I can't believe it. Aside from the actual concert, which is being held on October 15th, there's going to be lots of other festivities like after party, pre-party, which by the way sold out really quickly, so we weren't able to get tickets to that. The after party is being held at Lotte World, and they're gonna be like doing a parade. There's gonna be food, drinks. It's like a giant amusement park, but dedicated to like this yet to come Busan World Expo. Gonna be like themed all BTS stuff in preparation to like put more like promo towards the actual concert. So aside from that, they also have this exhibition that's being held at Hype Insight called the Proof Exhibition. Basically like the whole journey of, I think, BTS's evolution as a group. I think they're gonna have a whole exhibit on like from the very beginning to the very like current state of the group, or like the current, I don't want to say current state because that makes it seem bad, like the current time of the group and like all of the achievements. I feel like in a way they're also showcasing like all of the hard work they've done, and it's going to be at the Hype Insight company's building. They have a museum there that they're closing the main museum to host this exhibition, and then they're going to be having a another one in Busan, and I think that one's more of like a makeshift, like they're gonna have not a parking lot, but they're gonna have a lot for that exhibition. Wanted to do it at Hype Insight because it's actually more convenient to go for us earlier, since I will be going to Korea about like a week before the actual concert. I'm doing a bunch of like, okay, I'm gonna get a haircut in Korea, I'm gonna get my nails done in Korea. I'm planning to go like cafe hopping a few days on my own in the beginning, because I will be on my own for the first few days. A night market, there's so much stuff that I got to do a lot when I was there last time, but there's a lot more stuff that I now can do because I'm going back, and like being on my own too, I feel like I have more freedom to like just like be lax and like not rush too much. It's gonna be really fun. I really want to go to Gwangjang Market, which is I think it's in Seoul, and it's near, almost like maybe like 15 minutes from Myeongdong. It's in that general area of Seoul, and I really want to try like these noodles that someone had from this Netflix documentary, like street food documentary. Surprisingly enough, we haven't gone to a night market while I was in Korea, so this is gonna be like, it's gonna remind me of home, like China. And here's a picture of me. I'm blurring out my sister's face but this is us in China, like the last time I went to an actual night market, so it kind of like hits close to home for me. Aside from the exhibition and the after party, there's going to be this whole thing of like merch and photo ops, and if you had purchased the collector's edition of Proof, it would come with a photo ticket that you can use like a photo op at the exhibition if you had planned to go. They posted this announcement on Weverse yesterday actually, and I don't know if you can see, but you can find this information all on Twitter as well. It's just a schedule of the things that are happening, like where they're located and what time you should be going if you wanted to like participate in these events. I think the first thing I'm gonna do when I get there is go to the Lotte World department store, because they're going to have like a pop-up for some of the merch, and I would love to check that out before it starts to get busy. I'm not sure what time or like what days that other people are starting to fly in from international, but I just know it's gonna be busy regardless, because like Korean people will also be like going to these places. I'm gonna go to the Lotte Mall World store in Seoul. Official merchandise, I'm not sure if it's like new merch or if it's like old merch. I'm hoping it's maybe a little bit of both so we can see something new. And then there's like other gathering events that I think they're all sold out though. I'm trying to check Global Interpark to see if they have any of the pre-party stuff anymore. I'm pretty sure it's sold out. It's being held at Paradise Hotel, which is in Busan, on October 14th, which is one day before the concert. It's been sold out like a minute even after the actual like on sale time. I was so mad. I should have like, yeah, it's sold out. I shouldn't even have bothered, because I stayed up for that too. There's gonna be a lot of events, and I'm like super excited to not only like go back to Korea and like have a good time with my friend, but be able to experience. I remember like going last month and thinking like, if I ever wanted to see like concert in Korea, I really want it to be my old group, which is BTS. And to think that that's happening like maybe a month later is crazy to me. I don't know what the luck is. I feel like I have a lot of luck with concerts, but everywhere else in my life not so much. So I'm really thankful regardless that I get to go, and I get to like also share this opportunity with other people who aren't gonna go to Korea, because it is like a really last minute like big move to make, and it's expensive. I'm really happy that I can like help document this and vlog everything, and I think I'm gonna be better vlogging this time because I'm much more comfortable now that I've already done it one time. I'm super excited, and I guess I can tell you like some of the things that I'm gonna prep, or like maybe some of the things that you need to know before you go. And I know this video is coming up really close to that like time that people start to leave, but if you needed to know like a few things about traveling there, then I can give you some tips that I learned myself over there. So my number one tip, we gotta think about traveling. If you are going to Korea for the first time, there are 3 things that you need to do. Maybe not even 3 now, maybe it might be 2, but 3 crucial things you need to do before and as you land into the country. They have recently taken off the requirement that you need to get tested for COVID before you depart the US to enter Korea. You no longer need to do a COVID test, which is like a really big stress reliever for a lot of people, because for me, I had to go and get tested within 48 hours to get a PCR test and get a negative one in order to board the plane. When I had first like gone to go get tested, I actually just came back from Lollapalooza, which is like a really populated, heavily populated event, which is obviously like not the most like smart idea to like go on a trip like that and then have to test before you go on another trip that requires COVID testing. That was like a once in a lifetime opportunity that I just could not pass up, and it was like one of the best nights of my life. I will probably do a story time on that as well in the future, because that was just like pure luck too. But you do not need to test for COVID before you head into Korea. However, you will need these documents to go to the country, and you will need to follow these requirements before you enter, and also bring them when you enter. Number 1 is a Korean electronic travel authorization form, basically stating like when you will be entering the country, when you will depart, when you are entering like your arrival time, and then where you're staying. Like if you're staying in the country for like less than 90 days, then you will need to fill it out. Otherwise, I think more than 90 days you have to get a visa in order to stay in the country. Pretty sure it's just like a travel authorization form to make sure that you are going there for the purpose of like traveling and like visiting, and not like living there. Otherwise you will need a visa. That you can get at the KETA website. I think it's just called keta.com. It is about $8. It will take about maybe an hour or 2 to get your results. If you got accepted or denied, you will have to put in your passport information, your nationality, and then just some other like basic information that they require to make sure that you are the person entering the country. The second thing that you will need to do when you enter the country, you will need to have a Q code. So a Q code is basically like a tracker for COVID. If you enter the country, you contract COVID, this is how they will track you, and you will have to be put into quarantine. They will ask you for a Q code, and that's how you can like bypass the really long line. That's also on the Q code website. I can like put the link, everything in the description box below if you need that. We had that when we went to Korea, and obviously now that you don't need a COVID test before you enter the country, it's more lenient, I guess, with like entry and international like foreigners, like anyone who's just like visiting the country. Whereas like back then, which is only a month ago, can you believe it, you would need to show like a lot of other documents in order to enter. But we just showed our Q code, and then we went to immigration, and then went to like the customs area and like picked up our luggage and everything. And it was actually like a very smooth, easy transaction process, because we also did it during a weekday, which if you are traveling to Korea, I would highly recommend traveling on a weekday, because the airport is not going to be as crowded. Number 3, this is probably one of the more important things that you need. I mean, they're all very important, but you should be doing this as soon as you land in the airport, or within the first 24 hours of like landing in Korea. You will need to get COVID tested. The place that I got COVID tested at was the airport, Incheon Airport. As soon as you like get out of immigration, you get out of customs, you get out of like the gate area, there is a taxi area outside in Terminal 1, I think on the west, and then across the street is like a COVID testing site. You can make an appointment for that place on safetogopass.com, and that's going to be really helpful to save time. If you don't think that you can make the time, or like you don't know exactly how long it's going to take to get through immigration, or get through like just the paperwork process, like if something goes wrong in the airport and you can't like go through on time, or it's taking longer than anticipated, it's okay. Like you can be late to the appointment, you can be early to the appointment. It just really depends if there's a line or not. but they will take you as long as you have an appointment. And if you're doing a walk-in, well, we went during a time when it wasn't busy, so they were taking like walk-ins pretty quickly, but it's easier for you to make an appointment and you don't pay until you actually go get tested, and you can always change your appointment. But the website is called safetogopass.com, and I think you can also book for yourself as well as your passenger or like your accompanied person if you need to. Traveling from the airport to your Airbnb, wherever you may be staying, if you are traveling into Seoul, you would fly into Incheon. If you're going to Busan, I think there's an airport over there you would fly into. Whatever it is, you are probably bringing like a check-in luggage, a carry-on roll-on, and like a personal item, maybe 2 check-ins if you're going to be buying a lot of stuff. What I would suggest is you bring one big check-in for your clothes and your shoes or whatever, depending on your stay. For about 2.5 weeks or almost 3 weeks when I stayed, I needed a big check-in luggage, and I also needed a carry-on rolling. And then I had a backpack because I did work from home over there. I think 1 is okay, but if you're going for really long time, obviously prepare to pack for more. For the 2 weeks that I'm going, I think 1 check-in should be okay with me. And if I buy a lot of stuff, the best thing to do is to either buy a duffel over there or bring a foldable duffel and then use that as your second check-in, because most international flights will allow you to check in a bag for 2 bags for free, as long as you keep under the, I think for economy it's about like 50 pounds per luggage, or you can pay for like overweight luggage. Your carry-on for most flights, like international, like United, they didn't like weigh my my carry-on rolling bag. So if you want to like put all of your heavy stuff in your carry-on rolling bag, they might actually make you check it in, and that actually might be better for you, so you don't have to lug that into the airplane. You wouldn't know that until they ask you, and like most of the time they'll ask you, just so that you can have more space in the plane for other luggages if you also like boarded really late. I recommend, like, if you're going to buy a lot of stuff, then you should for sure be prepared to either buy a luggage over there, which is really cheap, or you should be prepared to buy like a duffel, because that's something that I did. Or if you like don't feel like you need that much stuff, like you don't need a whole duffel to check in, you can buy a box at the airport. And Incheon airport has like a stall or like a stand that has boxes, and you can just like package everything up into a box and then use that as a check-in. How much cash should you bring and what do you need? In other countries, many of them actually take international cards. So if you have a Visa or MasterCard, it's accepted like a lot of places worldwide, Korea being one of the countries that accepts it. Depending on your bank, if you are charged fees or if you have like a card that doesn't charge fees, it really depends. But it's really convenient to use a card when you're paying for things like if you're going to a department store or going to a mall, if you're paying for like dinner. If you go places like walking down Myeongdong and you see people selling like food in those food stalls, most of those places only take cash, as well as some other like of the small businesses that sell like maybe handmade goods or handmade like food, like local foods. If you go to the night market, a lot of those places also only take cash. So cash is much more widely used in Korea than it is over here in the US. For me, I brought like $500 or $600 of cash, and I actually traded it in at the airport for doing currency exchange. I did that at Incheon airport, but what you can do before you leave, if you don't want to deal with it at the airport, which by the way, it was not a hassle at all, it was really easy. If you don't want to do any of that, then you can order your currency ahead of time, actually at your bank, because a lot of places, a lot of banks actually don't carry won, euro, pound. Like you have to order it in advance now. I think due to the pandemic, they don't carry it in the bank itself. Or you can go to a currency exchange place. Like there's a lot of them that do it, like Western Union. Maybe like the smaller banks have it, or just like the currency exchange places that exist in some malls still have it. But I would suggest for like about 2 weeks. I mean, really depends on like what you want to do, just in case, like have $300, maybe $400 of cash on you. Going places via metro, you will need a T-Money card, and a T-Money card is a transportation card that you can use at like the subway, the metro, and then you can also use it for the convenience store, or if you take a taxi, like that card is going to help you pay for things. But you can only buy the card with cash, and you can only reload the card with cash. Of course, I went with my beloved BTS. So this one's a square one of Yoongi, and you tap it to pay. And then I got these ones. The official ones that are sold by T-Money brand are the ones with the black branding on the top. Hobie. And then my favorite one is the one that I used and I first got when I went there, is this B. Oh my gosh, you can see like the reflection. Is the B mirror card. And all of these are really cheap if you buy them at a convenience store, but you can also buy them at this K-pop store underground in Myeongdong. So this one was like 10,000 won, which is about like $7 or $8, whereas this one, I think this was like 4,000 won or 6,000 won at the CU behind Hybe Insight, and that's like $4. So I would recommend trying to buy them at a convenience store. And I know they're coming out with new proof ones. If you are a BTS fan, obviously you probably are a BTS fan, you're watching this video. They're coming out with a new proof one and it's like holographic, and there's only like 100,000 of them. I know, only 100,000, but they're gonna be available in CUs all across of like Korea. I think that's so on brand to have those come out during the time of the proof exhibition. I'm sure they planned it. That's just so on brand. You're really thinking Hybe. You're thinking how to steal all my money. You will need cash to fill these up because they don't take card. However, let's say you don't have any cash left, you use all of your cash when you were at the subway, or you use it at the convenience store, you need to reload it and you don't have any cash left. Most entrances of the metro underground, like the subway, have international ATMs that you can go pull out cash. There's just a small fee, which I think it's about like $1 something US to use the ATM, or you can go to a bank, which I think in Hongdae or Myeongdong, there's like banks everywhere where you can do like a currency exchange. When you use the ATM in Korea, it obviously spits back like Korean won. So if you really need to get cash, then you should definitely use the ATM there in the subway metro, because like if you're asking me like where can I go to get cash, like that's the first place I would tell you, because I don't know where else has like an ATM that accepts international cards. Something I learned when I was over in Korea is that you need to keep every freaking receipt you get if you are getting a global tax refund. Purchases over there. If you're a foreigner, you need to bring your passport literally everywhere with you if you're going to be making any sort of purchases that you can get a refund on. Some places, if you show your passport, depending on like the minimum or maximum amount of money you spend there, you will get a instant discount on your purchase. But there are places that you don't get an instant refund on, but if you bring your passport, they will scan your passport and then they will give you the receipt with the global tax refund. And what you do with those receipts, you keep them all together. They give you an envelope when you go shop somewhere. They'll give it to you. It says global tax refund, and then you will take it to the airport. Make sure it says global tax refund, because there are some places that are not, like, it's not the same thing. You have to do it in Korea. Like, well, you still have to do this one in Korea as well, but you're doing it at the airport. You go to the kiosk, which is actually really close by to where you will check in your luggage by the security entrance, or like when you go through the security, there's a kiosk. You can also do it when you've already gone through security and you're at the gate. Go when you pick up your money or your refund. There is also kiosks over there in case you didn't do it like the first time around. There's like signs everywhere, you'll know, and you can always ask someone at the airport. But what I did was I kept all of my receipts. I went to the kiosk and I scanned all of my stuff, then print out a receipt. So they'll print out, they'll scan your passport, or you scan your passport on the thing, and then you scan all the receipts. And then there's some stuff that's already input because they scan your passport when you go buy stuff, and then they'll print out a receipt, and the receipt will tell you your estimated refund. So then you take that receipt, you go through security, and you go to whatever the stand is called. I don't know what the gate number is. It's different at every terminal, but at the gate I went to, it'll tell you like gate blah blah blah, and then you go over there, you stand in line, and you give them your receipt, and they can give you either, I think, yen, Japanese yen, US dollar, and then one other thing, I can't remember the last currency. Those are the currencies that you can get back. I think I got about like $30 back. I had already received a lot of instant tax refund while I was purchasing stuff, maybe like Olive Young or some places like clothing stores that were more on the cheaper end. Whereas like when I went to Gucci, I bought a bracelet, and I think it was about like a $300 purchase, but it went down to like 200 something. So I got the receipt and I went to go scan my passport and I got my refund there. Traveling in Korea, again, I always recommend taking the metro. It's just much more efficient time-wise if you're in Seoul, and if you're going places that are like maybe a little bit further away but you don't want to spend like the time in traffic, then definitely take the metro. There are obviously like during the weekday. People go to work, so the metro will be very crowded at certain times, but there's a lot of trains that come by, and they come by like pretty like quickly after another. So you should try to take the metro or try to take the bus everywhere. So the bus, the metro, and taxi and a CU, they all take this T-money card, so you can use that everywhere you go, reload when necessary. But taking the bus is actually very convenient. I think like when you go to other places, like other provinces, so if you're going from Seoul to Busan, you can't really, I guess you can take a bus, but that's really far to take a bus to Busan from Seoul. You should take KTX, which is the train station. You can buy those tickets actually on the KTX website, or you can buy them like at the train station when you go. Buy the ticket online, or you buy it at the actual like station, and then you board the train, and then boom, you're good to go. And it's just a very easy process. I think the train is super efficient. I do recommend business class for like a lot of the trains, because there's more leg room and it's usually not as full as economy. So if you want more peace and quiet, I feel like the business class is probably better. Also, it really depends on like what time of the day you're going, what time of the day you're taking the train, because everyone will probably have the same idea as you. If you're trying to like get into the business class and have more leg room and have peace and quiet, I recommend that, because you can also have like, I think some of the trains have plugs and outlets on the side of the wall. So if you need to charge your laptop or like charge your phone, then that's like the best option, because it's about a 2-hour train ride from Seoul to Busan. So I will be staying in Seoul. I won't be staying in Busan this time around when I go for my trip, and there's no like really like crazy reason for that. I just wanted to stay in Seoul because I feel like there's more stuff to do there as opposed to like staying in Busan. Like Busan is really known for the beaches, for the seafood. There's like a lot of other stuff, but it's a more local area or local province as opposed to Seoul, which is like, I don't want to say like super foreign friendly, but like you're more prone to like finding foreigners in Seoul than you are in Busan. And like a lot of people spend more time in Seoul because there's just, it's like a city life. There's like a lot of stuff to do over there. One more thing before I forget, I end this video, because I think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, but these are some like most of the crucial points that I wanted to express and tell you and try to advise you before, you know, you go to Korea if you're planning on going next year, or if you're making a last minute trip to Busan for the expo. Get a phone SIM card. If you are traveling from the US or like the UK, anywhere internationally, and you don't have like a Korean SIM card or like an international phone plan, you obviously cannot use your phone carrier in that foreign country or that native country, because Korea is obviously like on different carriers. What you can do is either get a eSIM. If your phone has a compatible eSIM, you can install like a data plan via like some of these data plan apps. The ones that I recommend and I use actually when I went included unlimited hotspot, unlimited data, and you just pay per like increments of days. They have packages of 10 days, and then they have packages of like a whole month. I think 10 days is about like $32, and then a whole month is about $60, which I think it's pretty good considering you can like hotspot your devices too if you need to, if you are working from home, or if you have like other devices you want to use while you're abroad and you don't have Wi-Fi, which most places have Wi-Fi, but the service is really good and the internet is really fast. You will need a phone. You will for sure need a phone if you're not familiar with traveling within Korea. If you don't know like the bus stops or like the bus routes or the metro stops and metro routes, like if you need to figure out where things are, like getting a taxi, you'll probably need Papago. If you don't speak Korean, Papago is a translating app that is more accurate than Google Translate most often. But taxi drivers who don't speak English, you can like show them the Hangul version of the place you're going to and just show it to them, and they can put it into their like Kakao or like Naver maps, because most taxi drivers like they don't speak like fluent English. So if you're going to be traveling within like Korea, you need the internet, which is via the phone SIM. And the app that I use is called Airlo. I have a link to it. It's not an affiliate link. I don't make money off of it. It's just a referral code. So if you'd like to use the one that I was using, I can put the link below. I rebought it for this time around so that I could use it because the speed was really, really fast. And I will be, again, working from home for the next like 2 weeks when I go again. So translating apps. If you don't speak Korean, most people who travel there are not fluent in Korean, so we use Papago, which is a translating app. And you will also need Naver Maps. Naver Maps is going to be like the main map or like transport, like navigation system or app that you will use. And then Papago really helps with translating. You have Google Translate, then you can take pictures of signs and it will like translate it for you. But Papago is more like conversational Korean to English, or like conversational. It's not as formal, so people will like understand what you're trying to get to if you're asking them questions easier. So use Papago and then use Neighbor Map. But basically, like those are the apps I feel like you really need when you're over there, aside from like your bank app in case you gotta like go pull out cash or something. Yeah, that's a lot of information. So other than that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If I think of anything else to like talk about or bring up, then I'll probably like make a second part of this video. But I really wanted to get this up before a lot of people head out to Korea in those few upcoming weeks. Like the expo is really soon. I didn't realize I would be leaving to Korea in about a week and a half. Maybe from when you're watching this, it'll be a week now soon, and it doesn't feel real to me that I'm gonna be able to go see like my old group in Korea like for the first time for a free concert with one of my friends I went to Korea with. So it's like we never left, and I feel like this is a good way to like continue into the fall season. And like, I mean, I don't have too many things lined up after this concert wise or like event wise, aside from going to LA 3C, which is like another music festival in LA in December, but I didn't even think I'd be going to that. Okay, have a great day everyone, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. I'll see you in Korea actually. Bye.